Hi everyone. I'm going to do a little bit of an intro for myself as well. Why not? And then we will share some insights. So this is me. This professional headshot was taken before I went all in on the personal branding and dyed my hair purple. So I am from Dublin in Ireland, copywriter, content creator and brand voice consultant. So I help people communicate, and my favourite clients to work for are charities, NGOs and not-for-profits, and just help them find the right words to communicate with those who need access to what they do. So this morning we are going to have kind of a quick introduction to brand voice. Tone of voice, verbal branding, whatever it is you call it, it's all the same thing. So first of all, we're going to talk about what it is, and then we're going to go into why every freelancer needs one, how you can start developing yours, a couple of things to consider in the process, and then there should be time for some questions. So we will kick off. So what is tone of voice? Much like your visual branding, it's how you portray yourself to the outside world in the words that you use and the way that you communicate. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I'm sure most people, while they were growing up, gave a smart answer back to their parents and were quickly told, don't take that tone with me. That's what it is. And while it's commonly referred to as tone of voice, that does apply for non-verbal but written communication as well. So we're talking about your website, newsletters, how you send an email. All of these things are your tone of voice or brand voice. The terms are used quite interchangeably, so apologies if I switch between one and the other, but they all mean the same thing. So, there we go. So it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Are you excited or excited? Do you use contractions? So I'll rather than I will. You know, in French you'd have tu or vous. These type of things that make kind of difference between formal and slightly less formal. Do you say hey or hello? Do you use slang? If you do, is it kind of common slang or is it localized slang? So, you know, in Ireland we'd say, what's the crack? How are you getting on? You know, that might not translate everywhere else. And then all of this matters when it comes to communicating with your clients. And why does it matter? It could be the difference between getting a contract and not. Consistency of communication means professionalism. Also, as a freelancer, it's important to remember that you're not just yourself. So I'm no longer just Michelle. I'm Michelle representing Specky Scribbler. Similar to if you had a job for an employer, you're representing the company. So while you are the company as a solo freelancer, you are representing a business. So it's how you want to come across to the outside world. It also helps you get the work that you want and not just the work that you need. So I started looking for more work in kind of for businesses that put purpose beyond profit. And so I started to kind of tailor my language around that kind of audience. So by changing how you present yourself to the world, you can attract the clients that you want. Okay, so where do we start? The main thing that I like to start with are what I call the 3 W's. Who are you, what do you do, and why you do it? And they may seem simple at first, or you might see them and go, oh my God, I'm having an existential crisis. Both answers are fine. They're all part of the process. So who are you? So this goes beyond yourself. So, you know, I'm Michelle, I'm a writer, I love dogs, and I recently took up running. That's me as a person. As Specky Scribbler, I'm a content writer. I help people communicate. You know, it's these type of things. So as your freelance self, are you casual? Do you talk to your clients in a similar way that you talk to people down, you know, out for a coffee? Are you friendly? How does that come across? Do you work by yourself or are you part of a team? This is a question that most freelancers struggle with, and it does change over time as well. So on your website and on your communications, do you refer to yourself as me and I, or do you say we? At the beginning of my freelance career, Specky Scribbler was a plural, it was we. So we at Specky Scribbler got to work with this, this and this. Now I've kind of flipped that and I've embraced the me. And I'm now, Specky Scribbler has done, I have, this is what I do. There's no right or wrong answer. It fluctuates over time, as I said. But if you pick one, make sure that you're consistent across all your across all your communications. So there's always a little bit of like a me or contact us that's kind of missed somewhere along the line. Just pick one and make sure that you're consistent with it. So are you professional? Yes. But how does that come across? Do you say hello? Do you say dear? I would say please never, ever address an email to someone that says dear. It is nowadays, that's kind of not really something that you do. You would say hello, hi, how are you? Things like that. Are you passionate? Probably, because people who embrace on freelance careers have to be passionate, because otherwise we'd probably work for someone else. So we are passionate about what we do. How does it come across? And are you a caps lock person or an exclamation mark? Which I know sounds a bit weird, but some people perceive caps locks to be shouty and others think that they're really excited. Similar to exclamation marks. Do you use one or do you use 5? All of these things matter. I would say please don't use 5, maybe 3, but again. So have a think about who you are and who you want to be when you're talking to your clients as a freelancer. And then what do you do? And I don't mean the service that you offer. I mean the intangible thing that you offer clients as a result of what you do. For me, Specky Scribbler helps clients to find their voice. Photographers, videographers might help clients to capture a moment in time. Do you help people to communicate their ideas? Do you promote them? Do you increase their sales or profits? Do you reach new audiences? These are the things beyond what you offer that clients care about. And these are how you communicate. These are crucial. Because if I said I was a copywriter, one of the first questions I'm asked is, oh, does that mean that you know patents law? No, different thing. Also, it's kind of, if you're a marketer, what type of marketing do you do? What are the results of your marketing for your clients? All of these things that clients, they might not understand. And if you can explain what you do without using buzzwords, your clients will be more on board with you. And then, why do you do it? Obviously, we all need to pay our bills and make money, but beyond that, is it because you love helping others, because you're passionate about the industry, you're invested in the business or the idea, because you genuinely care about your clients, because you want to make a change? Why is it that you do what you do? For me, I love helping people find their voice. I think everybody has a voice, they just don't know necessarily how to tap into it. I'm really passionate about what I do, and I'm really passionate about sharing my knowledge, which is why I'm here with you this morning. So why is it that you do what you do? Did something resonate with you that made you discover that this is what you wanted to do with your career, with your life? Share that with your clients. It doesn't have to be explicit. You can make it kind of a little more subtle. But if you're on a call with a client and someone says, why do you do what you do? Tell them, share your passion. That's why people hire freelancers, because they know that we're really, really into what we do. Because let's face it, freelancing can be tough, and we need to show that we actually really care about what we do. Otherwise, we wouldn't be a little bit crazy and embarking on this journey ourselves. And the other thing is, it helps you be memorable. So if you have consistent communications and there's certain types of phrases that you use or ways that you portray yourself, you'll be remembered. People will remember your tone, your vocabulary, how you answer the phone, send an email, and show up to a meeting, whether that's in person or on Zoom. It's the same person. There's not a massive disconnect between somebody writing an email on behalf of Specky Scribbler and Specky Scribbler in a meeting. You know, they're slightly different medium, but they're still the same person. So the tone is there. The feeling is there, let's say. And to prove this, I have some examples of like memorable communications. A lot of them I think are quite UK and Ireland centric. So apologies if they don't make sense to people from the wider Europe. But Channel 4. So growing up, Channel 4 was very much like the out there TV channel, and you'd always find these really gritty documentaries that you wouldn't see covered on the mainstream media. And this year they had the Paralympic Games and they had the contract to show them on TV. Whether personal opinions aside, about whether they should have done this campaign or not, I don't know. But what I do know is that it's very on brand with Channel 4. It's a bit risky, it's a bit controversial, you know, and they're playing with all of these ideas about Olympic sports and all this kind of stuff. And it's very Channel 4 because some people thought they were great, some people thought they were a bit insensitive, but that's just Channel 4 in a nutshell, really. And even before I saw their logo, I went, yep, that's definitely Channel 4. WeTransfer, so little things like, you know, see the transfer button when you upload when you add your files to WeTransfer. These type of things are your tone of voice. You know, you add your files, you send them, and then you don't send them, you transfer them. That's tone of voice. That's your branding. That's there. It's everything. And then again, you know, WeTransfer kind of champion younger designers. I don't know if anyone's used it, but you always see like kind of a nice graphic on the side that's generally an up and coming designer. And so little things like, let us get to know you a bit better by sharing your basic info. They could have said information, wouldn't have fit. You know, MailChimp, most people are familiar with MailChimp, at least in some capacity. Their whole thing is that, like, if you use their newsletter platform, everything's simple. You can get on top of your emails. You can make a great first impression. They give you tips on how to write a newsletter subject and preview. It integrates with all your websites, and you can automate your welcoming emails or your email packages. So they're very much like, this is what we do, say it simple and to the point. And then Waterstones. I love this. I think this is great. It's a bit of fun, and it ties in with what Waterstones are trying to do. So, you know, 404 page, generally you just get like, oops, sorry. But actually, they just say, I imagine you were brought here because the page you have requested no longer existed. And then they have a link to a book called Lost and Found. You know, those things, they're so simple, but they really, really make a difference. And you can apply these things with it. You know, I mean, obviously, maybe you don't know how to code a really nice 404 page, or maybe you do, but you can have a message there that isn't just, sorry, we lost that page. And it, you know, again, it's memorable, it's fun, it gets people talking. But it's not just me talking at you now. I do have things for you to do. So I hope that you have some sort of capability to take notes. I mean, you're probably watching this on a laptop, so open up a blank document or get a piece of paper, because it's time to get writing. It's a masterclass. This is what I do. I throw people in the deep end. I give them stuff to do. So if you have your piece of paper ready, I want to spend 3-5 minutes just to dive into the starting points of your tone of voice. So we will start off with, who are you? And I've given you 15 kind of starting points, jumping off points. You don't have to use them, but these are kind of a couple of traits that people try to, or they're common things that people like to put across in their persona. So if we take like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes and just have a think, go with your gut and figure out who you want to be. Okay, so we're going to go on to the second W. What do you do? Again, beyond the service that you offer. Do you capture a moment in time? Improve awareness, share knowledge, collaborate, create visuals, improve workflow, educate, reach new audiences, increase leads. What is it that you do for your clients? Again, these are just starting off points. There's no right or wrong answer at all. Whatever you think that you really offer your clients, go for it. Because or what you want to offer them as well, like what you want them to get as a result of the service that you offer. Last one. Why do you do what you do? Again, beyond money. Is it because you want to use your skills for good? You believe in your client or their business or their idea? Do you want to improve accessibility? Do you want to lead the way? You love the freedom. You want to improve the world. You want to create change. Why do you do what you do? And again, these are just jumping off points. Everybody will have their own ideas, their own reasons. So yeah, take another 5 minutes and then see what you come up with. Done with the starting anyway. I would like to say that this process takes a lot of time in general. It can take days, weeks, months. The starting is often the most difficult because you have to kind of take a step back and look at your own business and your communications from the outside, so how people are looking in at you, and that can be quite scary and you might not know where to start. So hopefully that these 3 W's have given you an idea of how you can do it. So then once you've done kind of this and you have, a bit of a starting point done, as I said, you normally would kind of think about where you roll it out. So obviously your website, right? So your website is the first place that people come across you generally as a freelancer. But it's also things that you can roll into. So your social media messaging. What type of captions do you use? What type of tweets do you send out? Your newsletters, even your actual, Outlook, Gmail emails. What does your signature say? Does it say your office hours? Does it say that you work strange hours because you're a freelancer? Does it say how to get in touch other ways? All of these things are all your tone of voice, and people do read them. Your basic greetings, as I said earlier, hi, hello, how are you, even hey, 1Y, 2Ys, all of these things. Heya is another one. Your UX writing, so beyond the actual copy on your website, what happens on your contact form? Is there a little bit of text in the box that doesn't just say name, email? Is it a bit more fun? What does your cookie notification say? I have one on my website and it says, instead of saying I'm okay with this, it just says nom. These kind of things. Have fun with it. And also one that really, really I think matters, it's kind of a personal pet peeve of mine, is when you submit a form or something on an email and you don't get something back that says thanks for that, it's on its way. All of these things really, they're small things, but it's these small things that kind of matter. I mean, who doesn't like seeing a nice little footer on an email or a newsletter, all of these things. And then another one that I kind of do with my clients, I'm showing an example here, is vocabulary. So stuff we say, so it sounds like us. This is a client of mine and I believe they might be on this call. But it's, we don't say in the interim, we say in the meantime, it's something isn't required, it's needed. You're not going to verbalize something, you're going to tell it. Do you have an inquiry? No, you have a question. These type of things, this is particularly true if you work, I think, with kind of jargonistic companies, or, do you want to say, do you want to use those terms, or do you want to use terms that are kind of a little bit more understood? But yeah, so these are kind of the basics of how to start your tone of voice process. It's not something quick, it takes quite a while. My own is constantly progressing. When I do it for clients, it can take up to 3 months, it depends. But yeah, that's me. And thank you all for coming. I hope it was helpful. You can find me literally everywhere as Specky Scribbler. It's the only name I go by on the internet. So much so that people in my life now call me Specky, so that's great.